Big news in the NFL today. NFL owners almost unanimously passed a vote to completely change the NFL kickoff. I say almost because the vote was 29-3. Green Bay, Las Vegas, and San Francisco were the only teams to veto this change. Obviously, it is still going into effect. It's an absolutely drastic change, and it's a bit confusing. I'll do my absolute best to explain it, and then we can discuss it. The new rules is that NFL teams can now have 1 or 2 kick returners. That's not new. But the kicking team cannot move until the ball hits in the landing zone or is fielded there. There are no more fair catches. Your next question is, what is the landing zone? The landing zone is the area between the 20-yard line and the end zone. If the kick does not reach the landing zone, you immediately get the ball at the 40-yard line, which is insane. If it goes out of the end zone or flies into the end zone and is downed, they automatically get the ball at the 35. Also insane because when you think about it, every NFL kickoff right now goes into the end zone. Unless a kicker absolutely shanks it or you have a 25-mile-per-hour headwind, that's every NFL caliber kickoff. If it hits in the landing zone and rolls into the end zone and is downed, you get the ball at the 20. If it is caught in the landing zone, it must be returned. I understand that's a whole lot. I think a really easy way to visualize this is just to take a look at what the XFL does, because this is exactly how their kickoffs work. I'll let you boys watch this. Look how close they are. They're 5 yards away from each other. Kicker's way, way back. They can't move, they can't move, they can't move. Boom, now they can move. 2 things I'll say just about this clip right here. Number 1, it really wasn't a spectacular return. He didn't even see first contact until the 25, and he took that ball out to about the 32. Let's watch it one more time. So, that's the landing zone. You can see it. They kind of give you a visual here between the 0 and the 20. He's going to grab it here. Now, if he lets that ball bounce and it's downed in the end zone, they get the ball at the 20. In your head, you're thinking, you could kind of just do that every time, just like a fair catch in the NFL. But the reason that you're incentivized to actually catch this ball and run it out is this exact reason. Let's see where he even makes first contact with the first possible defender. The first person who could possibly tackle this man is basically at the 24. If 21 makes a perfect tackle right here, you get the ball at the 24. So already you have 4 additional yards as opposed to letting it roll into the end zone and downing it. He takes this out to the 32. My initial interpretation of this, NFL teams will on average be starting with significantly better field position. Now, before I discuss my opinions on this, let's go through a few more specifics of the rules. If it doesn't reach the landing zone at all, you start on the 40. So there's actually a really big burden on the kickoff man now. Whereas before, I gotta say, NFL kickoff was just a formality. For the most part, it was pointless. NFL kickers have such strong legs, especially the kickoff guys, that you can nuke that thing. Harrison Butker would routinely make a field goal with the kickoff. That's an 85-yard bomb. So it's not just brain dead monkey hit the ball as hard as you can. You actually have to get it in the landing zone. I'm not saying it's hard to get in the landing zone, because it's not. All NFL kickers will be able to do this, but when they mess it up, it's going to be huge. Now I want to look at the comments on this, and I'm seeing the general sentiment is that people are really, pissed off about this. I think specifically this comment is so casual to me. I couldn't disagree more. I think this new kickoff is excellent. Calling it the National Flag Football League within 10 years, there are certainly many NFL changes that warrant that comment, such as outlawing the hip drop tackle, which just recently came into effect. I don't agree with that. Nobody who signs up to play football thinks that it's safe. It's just like nobody that eats McDonald's thinks that it's healthy. That ran aside, this kickoff rule is taking a meaningless, for the most part, formality and making it an exciting part of the game. The only time that kicks get returned in the NFL is when one of 2 things happen. 1, the return man is returning a ball that is 9 yards deep in the end zone, which by and large results in significantly worse field position. It's stupid to do that unless you house it. That rarely happens. Or the kicker messes up. The NFL kicker, who 95% of the time is hammering that ball through the end zone, they just don't get a great grip on it, and it's not a great kickoff, and then you actually are incentivized to return it, and even then you really don't take it out that deep. So this makes the kickoff virtually guaranteed to be returned. It still won't be returned every single time, but take a look at this. Quick Google search. The NFL reported that at least 1,970 touchbacks occurred on 2,700 kickoff plays during the 2023 season. 21.8 6% of NFL kickoffs were actually returned. And that's just attempting to return it. And if you want to take that a step further, 0.6% of NFL kickoffs, 6 out of 1,013 were returned for touchdowns during the 2022 regular season. So out of 2,700 kicks, there are roughly 15 touchdowns. Now, I will say, when that one touchdown does happen, it's very exciting. But people saying National Flag Football League, they're killing football, petition to bring back the old NFL. Are you remembering the last 5 years differently than I am? Now, I will say, back in 2003, kickoff rules were significantly different. People were getting injured like crazy, but there were also more returned kicks. I do understand that people running dead fucking sprint gauntlet style at each other is just a little bit too aggressive, right? What this new rule does, it prevents the dead sprint gauntlet style head-to-head collision contact, but it incentivizes teams to actually return kicks. I absolutely think this is the best of both worlds. There are so many things to bitch about in the NFL. I don't think this is one of them. I think this is a really exciting new rule. Now, the big question you might have been asking yourself is, how do onside kicks work now? And I gotta say, this is dog shit. Here is how onside kicks will work with the new NFL kickoff rules. If a team is trailing in the fourth quarter, they may declare an onside kick by notifying the referee. The referee will then notify the receiving team. Yikes. This means that there are no more surprise onside kicks, and they use this photo for a great reason. This was the Super Bowl when they came out at halftime and just, one of the sickest onside kicks of all time. Hold up. Let's watch this real quick. This is coming out of halftime in the Super Bowl, the surprise onside kick. Hell of a kick, by the way. Muffs it. Caught. What an electric play. Does it happen very often? No. But taking that away from onside kicks, I think, is a horrible decision. This is a very bad call. When you change the entire layout of the NFL kickoff, you have no choice but to also change the layout of the onside kick. This comment does it justice. The whole point of an onside kick is to catch them off guard. Absolutely. I mean, there are certain times in games where nobody's fooled. You have to onside kick, but a really well executed onside kick is when they don't expect it. So this is a massive bummer with this rule change. The receiving team having full disclosure that there's going to be an onside kick is just stupid. No more surprise onside kicks. It's literally impossible now, but I think NFL teams will be forced to be significantly more creative with onside kicks, and it's not something that NFL teams have ever done. Most onside kicks that you see are just dribblers. There's really two types of onside kicks. There's the bunt, where the kicker hits it right at the top of the ball so that the first thing that hits the turf is the top of the ball, and that's when it goes boom and shoots up in the air, and it goes about 10 yards, and your goal is to catch that ball in the air. Or there's a dribbler, you hit it kind of top middle, and then it just does it basically is a ground ball in baseball, where if you hit a really mean ground ball and the shortstop just has no fucking clue where that thing's gonna bounce, that's the goal of that onside kick. My point is, you can do so much more to an onside kick than those two. You just don't see it because NFL teams have never experimented with it. I guarantee that now that receiving teams will have full disclosure, you will see some crazy shit. Just think about soccer, football, soccer, and those guys' ability to manipulate the soccer ball, which is round. Imagine what NFL kickers will be able to cook up with a football. So you might get some cooler onside kicks, but you're not catching anybody off guard, which I fully disagree with. Long story short, the new modified kickoff means that NFL teams will by and large be returning kicks, which I think is an amazing thing for the game of football. You're going to see more kick return touchdowns. You're going to see teams get really creative, and there's going to be one or two teams, I think, that execute this super well, and it becomes a really exciting thing to watch. On the flip side, onside kicks are cooked. I'm so sad about that. And there's a significantly larger burden on the kickoff man. Do the pros outweigh the cons? In my opinion, they do. You see NFL kickoffs every single game, multiple times a game. You see an onside kick maybe once a week. Maybe. Shit, everybody's bitching like they watch kickoffs. Kickoffs are an actual formality. Rarely do they ever amount to anything. I think this is actually a perfect example of what I'm talking about. On the day the NFL voted to change the kickoff rule, the Steelers have agreed to a 2-year deal with the NFL's all-time kick return touchdown leader. Your return man will be so much more important than they have ever been. I'm sure there's a lot of old school players who are pretty pissed off about this. There have been guys in the league who've been drafted because of their return talent, and then return talent just isn't that important. Let me know what you guys think. This is clearly not a popular opinion. I think a lot of people think this is bad for the sport. So just let me know what you think, and I love you boys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.